Hey everyone, I'm Jake. Welcome to Spirit Guide Chat. Um, I am glad to see everyone here today. Those of you who have subscribed and watch my videos on the regular, thank you so much. Um, just some housekeeping things. One, if you're not a subscriber, please follow along. I love to create a community where we can exchange ideas, talk about different things. Let alone, of course, I'll answer any type of questions as long as they're not personal questions. Um, and also, next week, I won't be on Thursday because obviously Thanksgiving, and I am hosting my family's Thanksgiving, so I will be busy prepping for that and having guests over at my house. Uh, However, I will come on Tuesday. I think Tuesday will be a good time to come on. It's right before I'm going to be checking with its head cut off. I probably am a little bit already because that's why it's difficult with words because I'm trying to get stuff done with my regular day job, and because I'm only working Monday and Tuesday next week, and we'll be off the remainder of that week. But, anyways, so just a recap from my last video. So the government, like I said, reopened. There is going to be disappointment with the ACA stuff because they didn't, like I mentioned, and the Epstein files have at least the petition has been voted on by both houses and now signed. So let's focus right now. Before we go into Epstein stuff, there is some questions. The one legislation that, as I'm filming today, has passed the House. When they reopened the government, the Senate they thought they were being tricky about adding this amendment on the CR to allow senators who were investigated for January 6th to sue the government and get at least $500,000 of taxpayers' money, right? So the House have unanimously passed that to override that amendment. So I want to see if the Senate will pass that. And what's funny is that these senators, in particular, the ones who were investigated, somehow had no idea or didn't want it. And I'm like, really, Susan? I mean, come on. You know, their amendments. It's one thing that they're notorious and in Congress in general that they don't read the bills fully, just the highlights. But amendments, considering this was pretty much the only amendment in it, they knew. They knew. It's like nobody's buying that. So let's look, Spirit, on if the Senate will pass to override that amendment. So we have the hangman there, which kind of represents the right now most people and as well as the House were like, hold on there, Charlie. Crossed by the Ace of Cups, which is basically being blocked, And in the past, we have the King of Wands. This is somebody who is really focused on being a natural leader, looking at the big picture in the past, which is probably, I would say, probably Thune that probably put this in there to help some of these senators out. So there's going on the foundation of the reading, it's going to be disappointment. Let's look further. Here's the Nine of Cups about wish come true, satisfaction, and there is the reevaluation, and that's happening in the Senate with the Four of Cups. So here's what we're talking about with the Six of Pentacles, the giving and receiving of money from the government. Here's from the outside what the those senators are wanting, that Ace of Pentacles, that money. They want that money, you know? And then here's the Page of Wands in the hopes and fears. This is a lot of dissatisfaction and from people from the outside that are not. And here's the Four of Pentacles in holding the money back. So they aren't going to get that money. Therefore, um, the Senate is going to pass that bill. So yeah, they thought they were trying to be a little slick. That everybody was so immersed about reopening the government, they weren't going to fully read it. Yeah. Okay. So very good. So the next question is, of course, now that the president signed as of today is Thursday, the 20th. So the president signed last night the about releasing the Epstein files. So they have 30 days, they as in the Department of Justice, 30 days to release the files. However, there is in the legislation a stipulation about things are being investigated. Of course, Donald Trump has asked the DOJ to do an investigation on prominent Democrats, not any Republicans, obviously. So, of course, let's see if we are going to see the files in the 30 days. Oh, goodness. Okay, so this is these are with the Nine of Wands. These are boundaries that they're going to put up boundaries about what's going to be seen. Here's the crossing with the Page of Wands. So there is going to be a lot of procrastination. So they are going to be very much slow moving these files. There's going to be a lot of slow moving files. In the past, the Six of Cups, thinking about happy memories in the past. But there is going to be light being shed with the Sun card on the foundation. And here's the Tower card. Despite that they're slow moving, this is going to be a really big thing that's going to shake things up with the Tower card. Here's the Page of Pentacles. In the near future, this manifestation of this Tower moment. The Truth. The Ace of Swords is the highest truth card with the swords. And then the wish come true. This is the Ten of Cups or Nine of Cups, excuse me, representing this is what people were wanting to hear. They were wanting this Tower moment to finally happen. Bringing back balance, that's the hope with the Temperance card. And yes, the Knight of Wands. So we are eventually going to see that. Again, with these first two cards, they're going to create hurdles. They, as in the DOJ administration, going to create hurdles, which don't be surprised that they may have to go to court to get some more files released or whatnot. But again, this is going to create a Tower moment. You can already say in a sense, because this is not the Tower is not in the future sense. We are in a Tower moment with these Epstein things, because this is not going away. Not going away. And he's been trying to put a lid on it, but it's not, excuse me, it's not working. Not happening. Not happening, not working. All right. Moving on in a little bit more I have two more questions about the Epstein stuff. So, the first one is I want to know, let's see if the Democrats are going to release some more emails. I'm thinking that they're sitting on some emails from the Epstein files. They haven't released all of them. They probably just whet our appetite in regards to what they have. I think there are more emails that they're holding on to. And, I'm sure they were very strategic on what emails were going to be sent were going to be released, excuse me. So let's take a look to see will Democrats release more emails relating to Epstein? Okay. So there's really a strong energy with the Knight of Wands to communicate this out. Um, with the Three of Cups, there is there are some. I think there is a big push, but it's also there are some Democrats that are wanting to hold back and wait and see kind of thing. So there's kind of a push and back and forth in regards to it. They have the information, but when they're going to release it is the question. Okay, here's Trump in the past with the Emperor card, and here's the Four of Pentacles popping up again in regards to this. Again, when you see this, you're talking about it can mean about financially saving money, but a lot of times when you're talking about secrets and things like that, you're holding or being strategic. You're holding your cards close to you. So, but the truth is again coming out with the crowning this reading with the Ace of Swords. But then there's also Eight of Swords restrictions as well. I think I think in the future that the Department of Justice with Attorney General Bondi, she may limit on what they can release because of the ongoing investigation. So they're waiting on the right timing. The three of wands. They're waiting for their ship to come in because they want to bring things out from the surface with the moon card. And there is um, a leader in this, and I want to say it's Congressman Ro Khanna from California, who's really for the push of that. But eventually, yes, they are going to release those emails with the Sun card. This is a very strong yes. This is the strongest yes, one of the strongest yeses that you can in the tarot, the Sun card. And this is all I know it kind of can get frustrating with the House of Cards kind of thing with politics, but it's true. I mean, they don't want to release everything that they have. They want to use it to see what how the administration is going to release the files before going guns a blazing. So in the DOJ and Pam Bondi, um, they're going to use their tools to slow things down, this process down. So hold on tight, folks. We've been patient for this long. We're going to stick it through. Stick it through because this is going to be a long process. All right. The last question that I have in regards to Epstein is see if they have, if anybody outside the United States are going to leak anything out. And this is where the kind of will stir the pot in a way, because obviously those of us who've been following with the Epstein things, it's an international thing. It's not just United States centric topic. So I dealt with people internationally. So let's take a look to see if somebody out there, like there's been alluding to Putin knowing this about things. I don't know he was involved or somebody in his circle knows and has information. There could be other people too, and leak things out because Trump has upset people. Yeah, they're this is the Eight of Cups, so they're disappointment and somebody like in this popped out right when I was saying this, somebody that was upset or disappointed from Trump, their relationship, and may do this. Okay, let's take a look. So there's a lot of hope with the Star card. These are so we've been getting some major arcana here. Here, speaking of which, this is being crossed by the Chariot. I think this is think this is going to be usually the chariot when it's forward, it's something that's fast moving. I think someone's holding back a little bit on this, like the wait and see moment, like we just talked about with the Democrats. I think these people are doing, but there's very fast action moving forward with this Epstein stuff in the past. We've already know this. But then there's the collaboration going on. There could be three individuals internationally that are collaborating behind the scenes with this information, and here they are with the Knight of Wands. They're very passionate of having this in their back pocket, you know. Again, just like the Democrats, this is coming up. They're waiting for their the right moment to release what they have. They're definitely in the crossroads, these three individuals. But they're very confident in regards to their independence from Trump's reach, you know, and in the Queen of Pentacles, these three individuals are very much have money. So these people, which is not surprising if they dealt with Epstein. So these people have a lot of money and they're not really worried, and they're planning and making progress. This is also a yes card with the Two of Wands. So it's going to happen. Again, they're being strategic, these three individuals. I don't know who these three individuals could be. One could be Putin. There's possibility even the crown prince in Saudi Arabia. There could be possibly even Netanyahu may know something. I don't know. It could be Netanyahu because after he badmouthed him, the the crown prince was there. That's a whole other thing that happened this week. Let's take a look in regards to Pam Bondi's future. I know not since I've started this channel, but when I've done my own readings on Pam Bondi, I always feel like she's she'll be 1 foot in and 1 foot out the door because she knows things are not looking good. So let's look at Pam Bondi's future. The Attorney General Pam Bondi. Let's take a look, Spirit, at her future. What's coming up for Pam Bondi? What's going to come up and what's going to happen? Okay, here are some proposals and things. Her advising the president and the administration on the things that are going on right now. The Eight of Cups is crossing it. She is worried. She is worried. She's giving proposals. I don't think they're really hearing her in regards to proposals, because if you looked at her at the press conferences, I think she's very thrown off because this is not going the way it was supposed to. And what my feeling I'm getting is that they haven't taken her advice. He went his own direction on this in the past, which kind of this affirms what I just had the feeling about. Here's the Tower moment that happened in the past. What just happened with this vote and everything? She's probably been scrambling in regards to figuring out this. And here's the King of Swords, the truth. The truth is coming out, and it's like she can't help. And here's the giving and receiving of wealth. There's something going on. I think whether it's with her or there's other individuals, there is money being exchanged in regards for loyalty. There is the Sun card coming out in the near future. This usually means success, rebirth as well. So this may be a possibility that she might be moving on. Let's take a look. Yeah, there's a lot of disagreements going on right now with the Five of Swords, winning at all costs. From the outside, this is what I've been talking about with the international stuff. The Empress card usually means about Russia, so Russia's going to be involved in these shenanigans, and it's going to screw things up. And there's going to be a swift change coming. That's what she's hoping, swift change. And here's the waiting for opportunity, the Three of Wands. I think she is 1 foot out the door, like I said. I think she is. the Queen of Pentacles. She's looking for something that's going to give her more money. The Lover's card, there is some kind of talk. This is just proving that there's some kind of talk. She's at the crossroad. This is just too much of a burden. And it's for what? For what? She's not getting anything out of it that she thought. But then here's her restlessness and her new opportunity. So I think she's preparing herself to leave. I think she's just waiting for the right moment. She's like, you're not listening to me. I don't want to be any more involved in this. This is getting beyond for me. Most people would say that's probably beyond a long time ago. Um, so yeah, I'm still getting that she is planning to leave. Okay. So the last question that I have for today, and then we'll do a message for everybody. And I brought my oracle cards this time that I wanted to use this week, and I totally forgot. So the House has been working, and actually the Senate has been too, separately on a compromise for the ACA subsidies. So let's take a look if there will be one that passes before the end of this year. Because remember, with the CR, they were supposed to schedule a vote in December on this. So let's see if they will pass some type of tax credit subsidies for ACA by the end of this year, which would be very helpful because I feel for those who are going through that right now, because right now it's enrollment time. Let's take a look. Okay, Nine of Cups. People are wishing for how things were better in the past. You know, the Judgment cards crossing this. There is a lot of self-doubt coming in regards to trying to resolve this by the end of this year. There was a lot of contemplation with the Four of Swords in the recent past. They're wanting to come up with some type of compromise. Here's with the Temperance card at the foundation. So they are trying to work. There are individuals trying to really work for some type of compromise. They want some type of stability with the Nine of Cups. Yeah, this is what I've been getting before. There's some kind of painful loss that's coming with the Ten of Swords. I will see a little bit more. It's either meaning that it's definitely not something that's going to be close to what you have now, or there's going to be dragging their feet on this issue. There's a lot of boundaries being put up on both sides in regards to what they're going to accept in a compromise. But there's very much from the outside, people are wanting this to happen with the Ace of Wands. They're really working on a long-term view on it, not just the subsidies, but also trying to fix the ACA. But it's saying, yes, there is going to be some type of compromise. I just don't think it's going to be with the Ten of Swords. It's going to be something that people are going to be so happy about, because there's been talks about lowering the not the subsidies not covering as many people as it was before, and probably the amount and probably the length of time are probably those three things are probably going to be the things that are going to upset people. But looking at the base of the card, this is the Seven of Swords, so it can mean either someone being deceiving, but it can also mean working strategically. I'm going to say is working strategically in this compromise, but again, there is going to be some type of compromise that will happen in the Death card, meaning that there's going to be an ending of what was the old subsidies in this new compromise. And here's it's going to once it happens, they're going to make sure make the changes fast. So probably if it doesn't hit, because timing's always hard in any type of reading. Timing's hard because free will comes into play and changes things in the timeline. So it might work retroactively for this compromise if it goes beyond this year. All right, moving on. Spin away. Tarot. I haven't, not since when the very early um, videos, but I'm using this by Rebecca Campbell, Work Your Light Oracle. I thought this would be a fun thing for a general message. And these cards are very pretty. I really like the artwork on these. They're very calming. Work Your Light Oracle if you're by Rebecca Campbell. So this is going to be a 3-card general reading for everyone. And so Spirit, let's do a general reading for everyone. 3 cards. We don't do upside down ones under these oracles, so. Okay. So there's an awakening going on, which is not surprisingly with what's going on in this world. So it's a new way we're awakening, and in some cases maybe some people may be reawakening and thinking differently and integrating new information, new things into their life for the better. And the warrior woman, and this applies to everyone. There's a warrior inside of all of us, someone who wants to live with integrity, someone who wants to live in truth, someone who wants to push back when things don't align right. So this totally goes hand in hand with the awakening card. And what's this leading to? A deep replenishment. Tell me about it, Spirit, right? We all deserve this. We all need it and deserve it. Deep replenishment, retreat, rest, be held. Be held by yourself, be held by your partner, whatever, your loved ones. Remember, again, we're going through awakening. We are strong through this awakening, and it's going to lead to deep replenishment. So again, thank you everybody for being here. If you haven't hit that subscribe button, please do. I really appreciate it. And any comments that you have or questions, I am happy to answer them. Also, again, a reminder, I will be back on Tuesday because of the holiday. Until then, bye-bye.